Transwarped Part 3 begins with Ratchet trying to heal Bee, which causes him to flashback. Walking through a battlefield, I think this bot is Warpath. But more importantly, Ratchet finds Omega, who's not doing super well, and uses what little energy he has left to transform. So reluctantly, Ratchet has to shut him down in the most emotional scene in the entire series.
You taught me to protect like an Autobot, but all I did was destroy like a Decepticon.
We do what we must, even if it sometimes doesn't make sense.
I don't understand.
I'm not sure I do either.
Back in the now, when he looks like IDW First Aid, as Sari is still out of control. So the rest of the bots go deal with that by transforming and rolling out, creating a barrier of girders, so Prowl grabs the key, and she still rampages. But now they got the keys, so Prowl animes over and then transforms regularly to Ratchet.
Thing's got no power!
Perhaps all of its energy was drained during Sari's upgrade. You can do this without it.
As Sari walks with explosions, she tries holding it in, which only makes her into a seizure warning. So now Ratchet has to heal Bee by hand by using his magnets and some very well detailed inner parts, and yeah, Bee's fine. Well, they don't know what else to do, so Ratchet animes over to the guys, using the EMP reluctantly on Sari. Meanwhile, on Cybertron, this is the first time we actually see Cybertron in modern times, and the city here is directly based off of Metroplex, the city former. It's pretty big when you consider that's Longarm. And this is the first time we really get a look at his crane mode outside of him doing push-ups. Now dispose of this hazardous material. And yeah, it's clearly Blurr, who unlike Headmaster did actually get compressed. There is a model sheet for the cube, even though they only went with the simplified version. And notice how it is blue, and you're supposed to see the spark inside, because in animated, when a Transformer dies, they go monochrome. So canonically, Blurr is still alive, crushed into a cube where he cannot scream, as he's sent down a garbage chute, unknowingly by Cliffjumper. And I know eventually he gets fixed, but that's comic books. In terms of the series itself, this is Blurr's death. And speaking about books, it's heavily implied in the Allspark Almanac that Highbrow was killed by Shockwave to get his position. And in part 1, there was a deleted scene when right after Shockwave was done calling Strika, hippie Autobot Beachcomber would have walked in on Shockwave. Originally, apparently, he was supposed to be played by Tom Kenny doing a surfer bro accent.
Is this rain ever gonna stop? I've forgotten what the sun looks like. We should go on vacation. Somewhere warm. Somewhere sunny. Dragon Shores!
And despite Beachcomber definitely not even realizing what they were talking about, Shockwave still takes him out and blows him to pieces. It was cut for time, and the fact that Blurr's death is way more meaningful because we actually got time to meet him and know who he was. Like always, the great King Carlisle found the storyboards and remade it. But it's still a deleted scene, so it's non-canon, and we'll see Beachcomber in the background sometimes. And also, apparently, for some reason, Marty Eisenberg really has it out for him, but that's a story for later. So Longwave goes into, like, his office and FaceTimes with Megs with his computer that I think has solar panels. Or maybe they're the keypads. But either way, Team Char is sent to retreat from the Elite Guard. They do have a ship, and it is different from the Nemesis. If you blink and you'll miss it. Back at the garage, everyone's still healing as Isaac shows up, because Optimus wants no more secrets in this family. Seeing his now teenage daughter in sleep, B gets a recap of the last 2 parts. Before he teleports away, Bulkhead fixes it. But we still have 12 minutes left, so Omega shows up, shooting at them because what? Megatron has full control. With his face on Omega's screen, it kind of looks like Beast Machine's Megatron, which will be important for Season 4 discussions. How did he get the wires in his head?
Megatron?
Ah, then you do remember my name. Pity I can't remember yours.
Well, that's a big pickle. Ratchet stay behind and guard the humans. Everyone else is going to lead Liberty Prime away. But before Ratchet goes, he uses his Ratchet to unlock Bee's military-grade stingers.
Well, how come you never did that before?
Because battle-grade stingers are only allowed on combat bots?
What are you gonna do? Arrest me?
He's got kind of a point, Big Bot. But seriously, you guys been dealing with Decepticons this entire time, and they are all way taller and way more powerful than all of you combined. Why didn't you unlock that earlier?
Autobots, transform and roll out!
Luckily, water dampens their signatures and Omega's lasers, so they're going to have time to come up with a plan. B&B will be a distraction for Megs as the others sneak in. In the intro hallway, they immediately get caught. Luckily, Omega's spark chamber is in his kneecap, so Prowl plugs into Omega and goes vector graphic wireframe mode, finding Megatron, who looks like he's about to turn into Galvatron, and with some Atari sound effects, Omega overtakes him. So Prime and Megs have yet another rematch. But it gets cut short because, oh yeah, Starscream is plugged into Omega. In the far shot, they just read out Omega's face. Megs tries negotiating, why don't we just go to Cybertron? And Starscream's like, you right, but he doesn't know how to transwarp yet. But as they argue, Omega is struggling to get back control, and he wants Ratchet to put him back to sleep.
Use this thing once today when I didn't want to.
We do what we must, even if it sometimes doesn't make sense.
He shoots the EMP, which I guess knocks out Omega, but Starscream's fine, and he transforms and flies off. Optimus grapples after, and B&B come up with a plan to use the thing to make them teleport randomly. So B remembers his boosters, and Bulkhead just yeets him into the air, so Optimus can place the thingy so they teleport randomly.
Someday I really have to learn how to fly.
Sari wakes up, and now she has Terra's kind of normal voice instead of her little girl voice.
You were right about taking things slow, Ratchet. I should have listened.
And I should have trusted you to handle the truth.
Meanwhile, on Cybertron, Ultra Magnus is starting to suspect they have a mole. Well, clearly it's that wasp fella. I think they also accidentally gave Cybertron the flashback smudge filter. The council room or whatever has these really cool murals, or maybe they're stained glass given the squares. I guess the Transformer creation, you can even see the Matrix. And the council gets to sit in these gigantic, weird tubes. Alpha Trion is on the council. This is literally right before he gets retconned to be one of the demigod god kings of the Transformers. Even Wheeljack is in the far back. So Magnus says that Sentinel and Jazz have to put together a team, as we see Megatron and Starscream teleport randomly a lot faster than B ever did. This episode is great, and honestly Transwarp might be altogether my favorite episode of animated. Of course, the really big deal of Megs having control over Omega, Sari's new form. The action and animation are great, and it also sets up the stakes for the rest of the series, with Shockwave killing Blurr, and his position is slowly being compromised. The only problem is I kind of wish the digital fight went on a little longer. Overall, 9 out of 10. And I probably should also mention by this point that Transwarp was originally supposed to be 3 individual episodes, not a 3-part movie. Episode 1 was supposed to be Homecoming, following the Sumdac family and dealing with the Headmaster. Episode 2 will have been Upgrade, which will have been about Ratchet feeling inadequate compared to the Key and eventually Sari upgrading herself, just for her to lose control and rampage. And episode 3 will actually be next episode, Three's a Crowd. But with the subplot of B teleporting around with the Transwarp thing. But Cartoon Network really wanted a 3-part movie for the beginning of the season. And they brought back Omega to be the thing that ties all these episodes together. So in a season of only 13 episodes, we have a 3-parter and 2 2-parters, leaving only 6 normal episodes, and because of that 3-parter, we also miss out on 1 entire episode, which I'll get into another time. But in the meantime, let me know your opinions about the episode, as well as hitting that like button and the subscribe button for more.